Media Incorporated presents Here, Air, and Everywhere, featuring the amazing Professor Einsight and Irving.
Now! Oh, sorry. Come on back. We're trying to learn about air here, but nothing seems to be making any sense. Come here, let me show you. We supposedly have a balloon full of air here, right? Well, watch this. You ready, Irving? Now! Oh, you see that? Nothing. It was full of air. I showed you. So, where did all that air go? Whew, just disappeared. Now, answer this for me. Who says there's any such thing as air, huh? Oh, that settles it. I don't believe there's any such thing as air. And I'm going to hold my breath until somebody proves I'm wrong. Okay, I changed my mind. So, I made a little mistake. But we scientists mustn't be afraid of making a little mistake once in a while. The important thing is that we learn from our mistakes. So, what did we learn this time? For one thing, we learned real fast you gotta have air to breathe. But, did you notice that other thing? When I didn't breathe, I couldn't talk either. Now, you go ahead and try it. Oh, don't be afraid of talking in the middle of the film, because if you don't breathe, you won't make any noise. Isn't that funny? Okay, now let's try something else without air. Let's say we want to find out if we can see or hear without air. Where can we go where there is no air? Well, the answer is nowhere. Air is everywhere that we can go. Oh, unless, of course, we get into a spaceship and go into outer space, but mine's broken right now. So, what do? Well, the answer is simple. We make a hole in the air right inside this jar. Now, I'm going to put this bell right here and then put this jar on top of it. Can you see that? Can you hear it? Now, when I turn this machine on, it's going to suck all the air out of the jar. What'll happen then, huh? Will we still be able to see the bell and hear it? Let's find out. That's weird. I can see it all right, but it's not making any noise. Uh-oh, maybe the bell is broken. I know. We'll let the air back in here. Woohoo! There's that sound again. Woohoo! So, we can see all right without air, but we can't breathe or talk or hear any noises. Woo, this is getting exciting. But now, all this stuff, like this table and this toolbox, are what we scientists call matter. It's real stuff. And you can tell that something is matter because of two things. First, it takes up space. If this book is here, nothing else can be here. We can set things on top of it, but the space is taken up by this book. Matter also has mass. Here on Earth, that means it has weight. Well, this book has weight. It has mass. You can just see how heavy it is, can't you? But, but what about air? Is it matter? Does it have mass? Well, I don't feel anything. Is it taking up space? Do you see any air in here? I don't see any air out there either. So, how can we tell if it's matter? Yeah, hi, Irving. Look, I can't hear it. I can't smell it. I can't taste it. So how do we know if it's matter? Yeah, I said hi already, Irving. Look, Irving, we're trying to solve a scientific mystery here. Irving, How would you like that I flap this in your face all day, huh? Hey, this gives me an idea. You see that? Wind! That's how we can see the air. We can see it moving, like in the wind. Look. Now, Irving, now. See there? The wind blowing the trees. And pushing the sailboat. And holding the kite up. And making the waves. That's just air moving is all. So, if air can push on stuff like that, if it can push the big boats through the water and make the trees go bending over like this, then air has got to be matter, doesn't it? Well, like all this other matter. But how can we tell for sure, huh? Now, if air is matter, it has to take up space. So, first we'll scoop up a glass of water, and then we'll scoop up a glass of air. Now, the water takes up space in this glass. This glass is full of water. So does that mean that this glass is full of air? Well, what happens if we pour both of them out? Are they both empty? Jeepers, this is a tough one. Now, let's try something else. Now, the water glass is full of water. But how about the air glass? Is it full of water? Or is it full of air? Or is it empty? Watch this. Oh! We can see the air with our own eyes. We're actually pouring the air into the water glass. And see how the air is taking up the space where the water was? It's pushing the water right out of the way. Oh, that's terrific, isn't it? So, we can see that air does take up space. Oh, thanks, Irving. Now we got to find out if air has mass, if it has any weight. So how are we going to do that? Well, first we got to catch some air to weigh. Oh, I know. We can catch some air in this balloon. Say, what the heck is that? Oh, to measure the weight of the air. Ah, of course, good thinking, Irving. Say, come here. Take a look at this. How does he tie all these little knots with just one hand? I don't know. Anyway, you see how these two balloons balance each other? Now, what will happen when we hook up this one? Ah. Oh, you see that? You see how heavy the air is? Okay, now, let's see what else we can weigh, huh? Okay, get this out here like this. Put it up here like this. Okay, now we're ready. And... Okay, 580, what do you want to call it, huh? Now, let's take a little bit of the air out of here. Okay. And push this in. See? Now it only weighs 540. Oh, this is fun. Now let's weigh something else. Something that's really heavy. Oh no. No, Irving, stop it, Irving. It's after me. Oh, no. Irving, help me. Irving, help. Yo, well, I guess we've weighed enough air for a little while, huh? Thanks, Irving. Say, Irving, give me 4 here. Oh, Irving, would you mind pumping up my basketball? Maybe we can have a little game later, huh? Now, where were we? Oh, let's talk about wind again. I like wind. Wind is just moving air, but why does the air move? Now, let's look at something here. Okay, just... this fan makes the wind. You remember? And so, Irving, we can't play right now, Irving. Irving, put that ball down. Irving, you're getting too big for your britches. No. Now, Irving. No, Irving. No. No. Don't shoot. Good shot, Irving. Now see, we push on the air and make wind. We push on it harder and we make lots of wind. Woo, boy! But now, why does that work? Hey, you know what this kind of reminds me of? Flippers! Not like this. We push on the air just like we push on the water. Hey, this gives me a great idea. Now, we can push against the air with this, too. Ah! You see, the blades go round and round and pushes against the air. Hey, does this shape remind you of anything? How about a propeller, huh? Okay, now see, they both look exactly the same, just like the fan and the flipper. Now, watch this. Here again, we push against the water the same way we push against the air. Oh, boy. Now, here's the best part. Ha! See this now? Okay. Now, we push against the water, and we push on the air, and they both go! Oh, look at that thing go! Oh, that's great! That's great! This is all very nice. We know we can push on the air to make wind. But how about the wind outside? Have you ever seen a giant fan pushing on the air outside to push on the boats and the trees? Well, I never have. So, where does that wind come from, Ah, so many questions, but I think I have a clue. Did you ever notice that when you build a campfire, the smoke always goes straight up? Now, why do you suppose that is? Well, let's go take a look up here now. You see this thermometer? Let's see what it says. 85 degrees. Whew! Somebody ought to open a window up here. Now, let's go down here and take a look at this one down by the floor. You see this? It only says 70 degrees. So, it's much hotter up there than it is down here. And let's take a look over here. Whew! You see how this hot air rises? It's going up just like the smoke. Now, have your folks show you this the next time they're baking something in the oven. Have them open the door just a little bit so you can see that hot air going straight up. But be careful now, because this thing is really hot. Oh, but that's not all. Let's take a look over here. You see, cold air falls down, too. See it falling there on the floor all by itself. Now, what does that tell us? That's right. The cold air falls down and the warm air rises up all by themselves without anybody pushing on them with a great big giant fan. And that cold air falling down and that warm air going up makes the wind and the weather. Now look, the cold air falls down and it spreads out this way. And then the warm air rises up and it moves over this way. And then they meet in the middle and they get into a great big giant fight. And that warm air rushes to get on the top. And the cold air rushes to get underneath. And then they make a great big wind. and then the clouds start to form. And they come together and the lightning starts. And the thunder crashes down. And the rain starts pouring down. Oh, look at this. It's the scientific miracle. We've actually made weather right here inside of the library. Hey, Irving, what the heck are you doing? You're getting me all wet down here. Well, what do you got to say for yourself, huh? I can't believe it. After all these years, I've raised him from a little kid glove, and this is the way that he treats me. Gives me this right in the face. So, one thing is certain. Air is matter. And we know it's matter because it has mass and it takes up space. It's also very important stuff, too. Because if we didn't have any air, we couldn't breathe or talk or hear anything. And that would cut down on your fun right away, wouldn't it? And if there wasn't any air, there wouldn't be any wind. there wouldn't be any sailing or playing in the waves. Woohoo! And there wouldn't be any kite flying either. Whee! Oh, and there wouldn't be any weather. No weather at all. Hey, don't you dare, Irving. Oh, no, Irving, stop. Oh, so wherever you go, make sure there's lots of air. Oh, otherwise it's going to be really boring. And come back and see Irving and me again. We'll have another theory and lots more experiments to do. Oh, say, Irving, why don't you write down our address so the boys and girls can write to us? Woo-hoo! Maybe you've got some scientific subject you'd like to learn more about. Or a question. Or maybe you'd just like to write and say hello. Oh, Irving, isn't this exciting? I just love to get mail. Here we go. Professor Einzeit, Box 496, Media, Pennsylvania, 19063. Hey, wait a minute. That doesn't spell Professor Einzeit. I-R-V-I-N-G. Hey, that spells Irving. Irving, that's the big idea. What do you think you're doing? Hey, oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Adios.